guys, it's Cimo. Now today I wanted to bring to you a video discussing my top 5 cards from Invasion Vengeance. The set drops in a couple weeks, and we've got a lot of heavy hitters coming out of this set, so I kind of just wanted to break down my top 5, and in the comments down below, be sure to let me know what your top 5 favorite cards coming out of the set are as well. So to start off with number 5, it actually isn't one specific card, more like an entire archetype, and that is the Subterrors. Now, this has had me on the edge of my seat because we haven't gotten any information on the Subterrors at the time of me producing this video. We've gotten all the stuff on the spirals, but the Subterrors, you know, for lack of a better or worse pun, are still in the dark. And I'm really curious to see what we get for the archetype. I believe we're getting 3 to 4 cards for it, and really, I have a lot of high hopes for this, because I was kind of disappointed in the spiral support. It wasn't anything, like, fantastic. It was okay, but the Subterrors, I'm hoping, just blow my fucking mind. So, I'm really hoping we get that. I'm hoping we get, like, maybe 2 more Subterror monsters and, like, 2 really good spells. That's kind of what I'm hoping out of this. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out for the Subterrors. So for number 4, I have Vermillion Dragon mech. Now, I already did a video on this card, discussing it a little bit in depth. The card isn't that good, like, it's okay. I'm more excited for the fact that we have a generic level 9 synchro that only requires 2 monsters to make, and it's a really good Blue Eyes support card. I mean, the fact that Blue Eyes now has a way to answer different floodgates like anti-spell, just being able to use something like a Sage and a Blue Eyes alternative dragon, and making Dragon mech and popping it, that's pretty cool. It gives a whole little kind of extra toolbox capability for anything that can go into Synchro 9. So that's kind of why I have that card on this list. Now for number 3, it's Totally Awesome! And I'm really sorry, I had to make that fucking joke. But Totally Awesome has to make the list because it's so trolly. And personally, I'm not going to be playing the card. I'm probably going to pick up 1 copy just so for Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherry, so I can just cherry the shit out of everyone that's playing it. But what I do really like about the card is the fact that it just adds a whole new dimension to a lot of different types of decks. It's a boon to Paleozoics because they have a very good Xyz to go into outside of their generic boss monster, and it also basically just reshapes the whole way we look at heroes, because now we got Bahamut Shark in Heroes summoning Tree Toad out to back up a Dark Law on the field. Like, that's fucking crazy. So, while I don't like Tree Toad necessarily as a card, I do love what it does for certain decks and archetypes, and it's going to be really fun to play against. We have Gamma Seal and things like that, so I'm not really too worried about us having to deal with it. Remember, it's going to be a lot different than the OCG. So for number 2, we have Pot of Avidity, the card that Jar of Avarice wish it could have been. Pot of Avidity is so good for so many different reasons. Not only does it recycle cards from your banished zone, but it allows you to just cycle a card with it as well, so you don't lose any advantage by playing it. And the fact that it's a hard counter to Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries is nothing to scoff at all, because now when you're going into games 2 and 3 for certain decks, when you know they're going to be siding Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries against you, you can counterside Pot of Avidity for their cherries and then get back everything that they just banished. You don't immediately lose the game if you're playing something like Burning Abyss or ABC, something along those lines that pretty much cripples your deck. Now, there's so many other uses for this card just outside of that, though. I mean, it's a boost to decks. I mean, Blue Eyes could theoretically use it if they want to recycle all of their banished tuners, like their eggs. Phantom Knights can use it because once the Phantom Knights get banished, sure, you want some banished for Leviair, but being able to recycle those resources is very valuable as well, because then you can get more searches off some of your other cards, so that's really good. There's just so many other cool niche uses for Pot of Avidity. And it's a quick play. That's another thing that just blows my mind too, is that this card is a fucking quick play. Like, you can just drop this at any time, and it's just like, okay, like, it's just such a good card. You can use it on your opponent's turn because it's a quick play. It's just a fantastic card all around, and I couldn't be more excited for it. But, moving on to my number 1 card, and if you guys didn't see this coming, I really don't know what you should think, but my number 1 card out of Invasion Vengeance, Dimensional Barrier. This card I've been looking forward to for quite some time, because this, in my opinion, and I think with the opinions of a lot of others, is the best card to come out of the set. Dimension Barrier is a floodgate that isn't a continuous trap, meaning it's not susceptible to things like MST, Twin Twister, Cosmic Cyclone, anything like that. But the power that this card has is just incredible. Being able to lock down your opponent from special summoning basically anything depending on the deck that they're playing, whether they're playing Cyber Angels and Rituals, whether they're playing Fusion Monsters, Xyz, Synchros, Pendulums, this card just fucks them up and they are not allowed to play on their turn. Now sure, it does work against you too, but the fact that you're going to be using this on your opponent's turn 99% of the time basically makes it irrelevant to the fact that it affects you as well. And not only does it prevent the special summoning of those monsters, it also negates their effects too. So this card I feel like is going to be the chase card of the set, and if you pull this at your sneak peek, you better sell it right away because that is going to be a lot of money. So that's it for my top 5 cards out of Invasion Vengeance. Like I said, be sure to let me know down in the comments what your guys' favorite cards are coming out of the set. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Last but not least, if you really enjoy my content, I would appreciate if you backed me on Patreon. Just throwing a couple bucks my way keeps the support going to make me keep bringing this channel up to the pace that I want to bring it to and keep bringing you some amazing fucking content. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching the video. We'll see you next time.